Hey there, friends. This is Dr. Barry O, your mortgage doctor. Today we're going to be talking about rates. It's always a question that's on people's mind. What are the rates? What are the rates? What are the rates doing? What are the rates doing? Now, what is unfortunate sometimes is that people would decide to not go shopping for a house because of the rates, or they're waiting for the rates to go down before they go purchase a house. And I'm going to discuss today why that's probably not the best solution. Because the reality is, regardless of what the rates are, I always say the best time to buy a house is when you are approved. So with rates, you can't really predict the rates. And that's what I think sometimes people take for granted. There's an assumption that rates are going to go down. There's an assumption that eventually they're going to get back to what it was before. When I bought my first house, 1997, the rates were 7%. Here we are in 2025. I shouldn't be dating this video, but we'll figure that out later. Here we are in 2025, and the rates are still are again 7%, 6%. So don't decide to wait for the rates to go down, because you lose out on equity building every day that you don't own a property, which means you're losing out on your net worth every day that you're renting versus owning. And we cannot predict the rates. If you could predict the rates, DM me so we can figure out how to get these lottery numbers. Because the reality is no one knows what's going to happen with the rates. Everybody's predicting, but that should not determine whether or not you get approved to buy your house. So when you do see a rate online, it is a generalization. When they say what the rates are, it's a generalization. It is an aggregate, as they like to say, and it has nothing to do with your specific situation. It is a general. So when you see the rates are at 7%, they're taking into account all these different rates and all these different programs and a generalized credit score, but that is not exactly what you're going to get. So it's impossible. And I get this question often. Some random person might be walking by, or I might get a random email, sometimes a random phone call, and somebody say, "Hey, what's your rates?" And that question is really impossible to answer. So I do my best to be professional and not just say, "Get off my phone," but I do my best to be professional and try to explain to them that the rates you see online are really for marketing purposes. They are average, but your specific rate is specific to you, your credit score, your loan program that you're doing, how much money you're putting down. So many other factors are involved with your rate that it's better to actually do the application and come in and have a conversation. But it's really almost impossible for me, even if you tell me what your credit score is, it's almost impossible for me to give you what your rate is going to be. Now, what happens? Just being honest. The loan officer wants your business. So the loan officer is going to quote you a rate. So, okay, for your credit score, this is what the rate is going to be. Let's go ahead and apply. That rate he quotes you, again, is absolutely nothing but marketing, because your rate on your loan is not going to happen until you apply, your credit is pulled, the program is picked, you know how much money you're putting down, and then you lock the rate for your specific loan. That's when you get your rate. So it's important to understand that. So instead of focusing on rates, and always asking rates, you need to focus on the payment that is important for you, because that's what's going to matter the most. And before I get to this next part, I want to go back, because oftentimes people will shop rates like they're shopping for a car. And you can have two cars, the same model, and one's $20 more, and one's or $200 more, or $1,000 more. That's not the same way you want to shop for your lender. Your lender is more than the rate you get. And so, newsflash, we all have the same rates. We all have the same rates. What's different is how much are you going to pay for that rate? What kind of customer service are you going to get? So there could be situations, and I've had this before, where my overall rate was a little bit higher, but my customer service was 10 times better. And in the end, you want to have a pleasant experience. You want to have an informed experience, and you want to feel confident that the lender you chose is working for you, taking care of you, is transparent with you, and is going to get you to the closing table and close and get you the keys. So it's way more important to feel comfortable that your loan officer can get it done than randomly asking a bunch of loan officers what their rate is. If they gate, it doesn't matter if I could tell you right now, I'm gonna get you a 3%. If we don't close, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You want to make sure that you're comparing the right things when you're choosing to purchase. When you're choosing to apply for a loan and choosing a lender. It is a relationship, and often for that relationship, and I've had it happen with me, often that relationship lasts way more than just a first loan. You want someone you feel comfortable, who's going to be transparent, who's going to be available. Oftentimes, the biggest difference with a mortgage broker like myself is the fact that we might be available way more than a retail lender. We can turn stuff around faster. In most of the time, the lender, as a broker, the lender is paying us to bring them the good loan. And so between the lender, the real estate agent, the title company, the wholesale lender, the broker, the selling agent, the listing agent, the buying agent, we all want to close because we don't get paid if it doesn't close. So our motivation is to make sure it closes. So you need to make sure you're working with someone who's motivated to give you that good customer service, like my 5-star reviews, who's going to get you to the closing table and understand that we're all in this team together to get it done and to get you the keys. We all got the same rates. It's just a matter of where you're going to pay for that rate and your customer service. So keep that in mind. And the final thing I would say, if you're still on the fence about purchasing now, remember, rates change. They change daily. So don't get hung up on the rate. You want to make sure that you can afford the payment. And I know this is cliche, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's just nice to say, and it's got a nice little ring to it, and you might remember it more than anything else I've said. And I apologize. I feel like I've been yelling at y'all a little bit, but maybe this is because this topic. But anyway, so here's what we're going to end with. Date the rate. Marry the house. You can change the rate later. Date the rate. Marry the house. Break up with your landlord. All right. So I would like for this to be as professional as possible, but I also want you to know I'm real. So I'm gonna say this again a lot smoother. Date the rate. Marry the house. Break up with your landlord. And as my man Dion says, I'm just trying to put you up on game. God bless. Take care. And this is Barry O, Dr. Barry O, your mortgage doctor, dropping that prescription, boom, right there.